Hi, welcome to my class, Golf for All. My name is Sue Bremer. I'm an LPGA teaching professional, and I'm a former elementary physical education teacher and adaptive PE teacher, where I taught for 32 years in Cannon Falls. I also coach there. I've coached boys and girls varsity golf, junior high golf, and am currently coaching the varsity girls golf team. I'm here today to share with you my love for golf and hoping that some of you might think of teaching golf to some of your students. Golf's a great game that can be played with parallel play, so the kids get to keep their golf ball, play by themselves, but along with other kids. It's also a great generational game, meaning kids can play with their parents and they can also play with their grandparents. That is one of my favorite parts of the game, is to see families out playing this great game together. The equipment I'm going to use today is kind of unique. It is made by a company called Snag Golf, starting new at golf. You'll see it has plastic, so it can be used indoors or outdoors. It has a much bigger head and a bullseye. You can look down the shaft here and see the grip has some dots on it, and also it has a ridge here, which we'll talk about later when we get to the grip for the regular swing. This putter here is the same type of club. It's made by Short Golf. Both of these companies have these clubs in a variety of sizes and both right and left-handed. You'll notice that the golf balls that come with them are actually like little tennis balls, and they have a nice little arrow on them because this equipment is all geared towards shooting towards a target. Remember, golf is a target game, so as you're thinking of your standards, it would fall under that heading. Right now I'm out on a blacktop. It's got some lines. It's a great space in which to learn our first skill, which is putting. Whenever we teach golf, we want to start with the basic skills, and this skill of putting the kids can be most successful at. And then a lot of the directions are going to carry on to the other swings. So I'm going to get ready to do my putting here. I'm going to put down the other club. Also in this kit comes this clock. And so if you look around the clock, this is from Snag. You can see a 6. There's not a 12 here, but try to think of it in terms of a 12. And whenever we hit, the ball is always going to be across from the sticks. You'll also notice some numbers and some color coding. Those will tell us how big our swings are going to be as we go along in this process. Now, some of you might not be able to afford to buy the Snag or the Short Golf equipment. It is more on the expensive side, but you could maybe get a grant or something to purchase the equipment or share it with some other schools. But I want, as you're going along in this process today, think about what you just have in your PE storeroom that you could use to make some of these things. When I see this, I think of a hula hoop and taking some floor tape and putting the floor tape around so that you can make this clock. Okay? If you can't get the tennis balls from the kit, take your own tennis balls and put an arrow on them, or even a wiffle ball, or even a foam ball. So there's many things that you can use. As we get started today, I'm going to set my clock down next to this line. When you're putting, whether you be in the gym or outside, if you can have a line, it will certainly help understand that you're swinging down a line. And so keep that in mind. When we get ready to start putting today, I have a nice little board down here with a bullseye. That's my target. And notice there's 2 sides to it. So you could have one student on one end and another on another end. so you could have two at the same time. I'm going to set my ball down on the line aimed at the target. I'm going to set it right across from the 6. Now I'm going to get inside my circle and I'm going to point my toes to the 5 and the 7. I always tell my students, you can't swing the club unless you're standing in your circle. Now as I get ready to grip my club, the putter, I'm going to hold the putter in the middle of the shaft with my dominant hand, the hand that I write with and throw with. Next, there's some dots on the grip, and I'm going to take my hand that's closest to the target, and I'm going to put my thumb right on those dots. Then I'm going to slide my other hand down, like I'm going to glue them together, put my thumb on the dot, and now I have my grip. From here, I'm going to stick the club out in front of me, and then I'm going to bow to the ball. If you look at my arms and the club, you'll see they make a nice Y. Now if you look at the circle, my putting stroke is going to go back to 7 and forward to 5. We want to do it in a nice rhythmical cadence. One that I think you'll like is tick-tock. Notice my Y is firm. I don't want to use my wrists. I want to keep that Y nice and tight. Tick-tock. Right down the line and almost to the bullseye. I'll take my second ball. Again, I'm going to line the arrow up to the target. I'm going to get in my circle, toes point to 5 and 7. I'm going to get my grip, slide my hands together, glue them together, bow to the ball, swing from 5 to 7, tick, tock, and right down to my target area. So basic skills for the putt. Now we're going to move over and work on our next shot, which is called the chip. The chip is when you're off the green, so you can't use your putter, but you're close enough to the green to make this little swing. So follow me. I'm going to pick up my equipment. And we'll make our way over to the grassy area. If you're inside, you'll be hitting off a launch pad, which I'm going to show you in a second. If you're outside, if you feel like your students are far enough along, they can try to hit the ball right off the grass, and they don't have to hit it off the launch pad. Although it will help them get the ball in the air a little bit more. So my launch pad looks like this from Snag Golf. The tee comes out, and you can purchase these tees at places like Dick's Sporting Goods or a sporting goods store, or probably even through your catalog supplies. It's got an arrow on it, so I know I'm going to point this to my target. So I'll put the tee in, and I'm going to set it down. We're going to move up here a little bit. You can see I've got a flag a little further up that we're going to be chipping to. I'll set my launch pad down. Remember my circle. I want the 6 to be where the ball goes. So I'm going to set that up. I'm going to grab my club. Now when you look at this club, you'll notice that the grip has some dots, and my grip's going to change a little bit from my putting grip. So I'm going to get my hands like I did before, where I hold it with my dominant hand, and now when I put my grip on, the thumb's going to come over the ridge that's here, and on the yellow, it's going to be on the yellow dot. And then when I slide my other hand up and glue them together, that's going to go over to the red dot. So your thumbs cross over on this, and that is important for your grip. Okay? And grip is one of the hardest things to teach kids, and so I really like these kids for this. Now if you're using a regular golf club, maybe you could put some X's on each side of the center of the grip so that you could kind of simulate this. So I'm going to get into my circle, and on the chip I'm going to start with my feet together and at the 6, and then I'm going to just step with my left foot and go a little bit towards the 5. I'm going to take my golf ball that I have in my pocket, aim the arrow at my target. Again, in this, I'm going to hold the club out in front of me. I'm going to bow to the ball. You'll see I have to back up a little bit, even though my feet are still aimed at the 5 and the 7. In fact, I'm going to push my circle back a little bit. Now, you can see again my tight Y with my arms and my clubs. I'm also going to take my hands, which right now are at about 6, and just slightly push them forward so they hang by the 5. If I look at my circle, my swing on the chip is going to go back to 8 o'clock on my clock and come forward to 4 o'clock. Again, I want that nice cadence. Back and through. Okay? Now I'm going to get my second ball, line it up to my target. Let's go through the routine. I'm going to get my grip, left hand on, slide my hands together and glue them, feet together, bow to the ball, bring my left foot forward, pointing to the 5, hands to the 5. I'm going to swing 8 to 4. And that is your chip shot. Now, this next shot we're going to go into is called the pitch. And the pitch is a bigger swing. On this swing, we're going to go back to 9 o'clock, and we're going to hinge our hands to make an L. Now when I come forward, I'm going to swing forward and stop at 3 with the bullseye facing the sky. I have a little bit further target than my chipping target here, but I'm going to get my ball down, arrow pointing the correct way. I'm going to get my grip, glue my hands together. This time my feet are going to point to the 5 and the 7. I'm going to bow to the ball. Remember, I'm going to take the club back to 9 o'clock and make the L with my wrist. This is a hinge. Okay? So we'll take it back to 9, make the L, swing forward, eye to the sky. I have another ball here. I'm going to pick it up. Again, I'm getting my arrow pointed to my target. Get my grip. Point my toes. Bow to the ball. Back to 9, make the L. Eye to the sky. Finishing at 3. We've got one more swing to go. I'm going to go pick up my tennis balls, and we'll be able to go over the full swing. You can see the tennis balls don't go too far, which is nice on your playground. You don't need to run too far to pick them up. And their safety. So I'll get my ball, got my little tennis balls back in my pocket here. Now on the full swing, I'm going to get my grip, glue my hands together. I'm going to bow to the ball. I got a little bend in my feet. Now when I get back to 9, I'm going to make my L, and then I'm going to raise my hands up to 2 or 11. Going backwards. Sorry about that. So I go to 11. When I come, not 11, 10. I take that back. Now when I come forward, when I get to 3, I'm going to make the L on this side this time, and then lift my hands to the 2. So I'm going to get ready. Bow to the ball, knees are bent, take it back to 9, make the L, to 10, finish with the L, up over my shoulder. You'll see I have some weight transfer, and I've made a full pivot as I come forward. So we're going to try again. We got the blue ball, get the arrow pointing towards my target. Get my grip, feet at 5 and 7, bow to the ball, back to 9, make the L, to 10, forward, make the L and finish. I hope my camera person isn't getting the bad shots I swing. I'll do one more for you. I get my grip, bow to the ball. The bow is important for getting in right posture. Take it back to 9 and finish. Those are the basic skills for golf, and I'm hoping that you will consider teaching golf. Again, another company that you could use is US Kids Golf. I know you can buy like one club from US Kids Golf. They have a variety of sizes, and the club you're looking for is called a yard club. And the yard club comes with a bigger head, but it will be made like a regular golf club. But the head is close to the size of this one. On the grip, it actually has a mold where your hand should go. Not just the dots, but more of a regular grip that will show you how to hang on to the golf club. So that might be a good bet for some of you that know you're on a limited budget but would really like to get into teaching golf to your kids. Now you'll notice that everything I did today are for kids that are able to stand. If you have kids that you are working with that are in chairs, I would send you, if you look at my handout, I'd send you to a YouTube video by Jody Duff. Jody Duff was a National Teacher of the Year a couple years ago. She was at our conference a couple years ago also, and she was featured by the PGA showing the things that she did with golf for her kids that were using chairs. And so she uses a lot of switches and things like that, but you'll notice some snag golf equipment in with the things that she did. So I'm going to send you to that YouTube video to get some ideas from that. There's also some great resources that I've included in my handouts. One is there's a Facebook page and a group called National Golf Accessibility, and you can check out their website and Facebook page. There are many not many blind sites, but there is a site, they have a national blind golf tournament. Special Olympics has golf and a variety of ways that they, different classifications. Maybe they play 3 holes, maybe they play 9 holes, maybe they have someone else that plays with them in a format such as a best shot or an every other shot. So I encourage you to look at that handout for other websites and things that I've thought of that might help you. If you live in an area where you have a PGA or LPGA golf professional or a first tee program, you could reach out to those professionals and that First Tee organization. Some of them will have this equipment. Some of them might even be willing to come into your FIAD classes and help teach these skills. So I hope that if you have questions, you'll reach out to me. I hope that you'll consider teaching golf to your students. I think they'd really enjoy it. Thanks a lot.